So Highland Rise Podcast, I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
Happy Wednesday. I don't...
We're all fucked up.
Dude, this week has been
It's so
craziness.
Honestly, why didn't we do No, I know why. We had 7 interviews yesterday. I was gonna be like, why didn't we do the podcast on Tuesday and then Throwback Thursday on Wednesday? So then it's like everything's kind of like just a day off.
Uh-huh.
But then I just remembered we had 7 interviews yesterday.
And 3 hours of music to listen to for this, in addition to 7 interviews yesterday.
7 hours of music.
Yes.
Everything was
roughly. Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah. So yeah, logistically that made no sense. Logistically, this entire week has made no sense. But we are not missing this week. We were determined. We had the live stream scheduled. Shit got fucked up. Once that is locked in and we say we are going to do the live stream, we're doing everything to make the fucking episode happen. Even when Glory's in the midst of packing for her next trip and has been running around like a madman all fucking day, she still shows up at the time that we say we're making it. She's been up way too fucking long today, wired as fuck, and she's ready to go, and we're here dedicated as fuck.
Let's get this shit rolling.
I got so much shit to
say.
Let's get this going.
Shows.
Yeah, we both went to shows this week. Gloria will go first because she went to a fucking festival.
I went to Warped fucking
Let's
Tour.
fucking go.
Warped Tour DC. Ballin'. He was there. I didn't see him.
I know he was so there.
Upset. I was so upset. I think I passed by the booth. I don't know where I was in the Wonder Years pit when I saw the Wonder Years at Warped Tour. But the Guns show was at Warped Tour. I'm so pissed I didn't bump into him because I would have loved to finally meet him in person because you've met him in person. I haven't. I'm pretty. He's in New York, anyways, right? So it's you guys were bound to have
I actually bumped into him at the festival that I went to, Jason Fest, and he was at those Midtown shows. So I bumped into him a handful of times.
Yeah. Fucking hell, man. Save some guns for the rest of us, okay? Okay. Fucking Mike Gunzelman, right? I fucking love that guy. I love him so much. So, anyways, I saw a plethora of bands in the weekend, probably more than most people because I was literally just floating around the entire time. The full sets that I caught, because I feel like if I named every band that I saw, it would be probably about 70% of the actual lineup, which is my legs hurt.
Yeah.
To say the least.
But she came home with her voice, which I was very concerned about.
The only set where I knew all of the lyrics. The only 2 sets that I knew all the lyrics of every single song and I was actually screaming them was the main and Heart Attack Man. Everything else was I know a song and a handful.
That's fair enough, but I saw you sent me your Instagram story of you screaming "Mother" at Maddie Mullins, and I'm like, she's gonna come home with no voice.
It's funny because that was the only other time that day that I was screaming my lungs out, and I was like, I gotta make this good. It's Mommy Mullins is right in front of me. I have to make an impression. I wish I met him. It's God, dude. Anyway, so I saw Memphis Mayfire. That was one of the bands that I saw. As I mentioned before, Heart Attack Man, the main Games We Play. I did see Cliff Diver. I saw, God, again, I can name so many. I saw, oh God, man, I'm such a Honey Revenge. I saw Honey Revenge. Then on the main stage, I saw The Word Alive. I saw fucking Sublime, which was insane. I did not know that they sounded like that. I'm gonna be so real. That caught me off guard. I was like, why the fuck are they playing reggae? It's so cool. So then it's so many fucking bands. All I had to say, so many bands. All of them were incredible. One of the big standout artists that I saw for the first time was Holy Water. I went because I only knew one of their songs, the biggest song, Nail Polish. And of course they closed with that. So I stayed for the whole set and they caught me off guard because I have listened to their discography because they only have one album out. They're one of those bands. They're a baby band. They're a baby band. And the vocals were fucking he was screaming and shit. And I was like, I don't remember any of this in your discography because I would have been listening. So that caught me off guard. Major hell yes, thumbs up. I bumped into Lil Lotus. I bumped into Kevin from Pulses. I met Joey from Cliff Diver. there were just a bunch of people just kind of like wandering around where I was like, "Hey, I I know you, right?" And they'd be like, "Oh shit, hey, what's up?" And I'd be like, "What the fuck is going on?" So shout out Warped Tour. Everyone but fucking Mike Gunzelman.
It's fucked
It's
up.
all good. So that was my Warped Tour experience. Overall, it was honestly the best festival that I've been to. They streamlined everything possible. There was never a long wait for drinks, food, bathrooms. I didn't use the bathrooms. My body goes into like survival mode, and I can drink as much as I want, like water and shit, but I just don't pee. So shout out me. Did
Shout out
not
you, because I would be peeing my pants.
dude, my friend was like, she had to go like every like 45 minutes, and I was like, she was like, "Are you sure you don't have to go?" I was like, "Dude,
Dude, I'm
I'll pee
chilling.
when I'm in the car,
Yeah.
not like actually, but that's when my body's like, oh, you're out. Okay, now
You
you have
gotta
to go
pee. You better get back to the hotel soon, or you're going to
soon,
pee in this Uber.
or you're fucked." That was a worry. We made it though. It's fine because I'm not getting charged for that. That's like a lot of money. I can't afford that. After the fucking weekend I had, I cannot afford that. Um, Unfortunately, none of the like the Warped Tour merch like stood out to me. I mean, it was kind of ugly. But you live, you learn. I didn't buy any, so I lived. I will not be learning from that experience.
Let's go.
But yeah, overall, incredibly smooth running festival. My friend and I were making fun of the set times because they were like down to the minute. It
Hmm.
was like Holy Water will go on at 1:36 p.m. And we'd be like, the fuck? And it would be like Memphis Mayfire on at 8:51 p.m. And we'd be like, no
And
way
they
that's
hit
gonna
exactly at
happen.
that time.
Exactly that time. And it was
Not a
beautiful.
second, not a second early, not a second late.
Genuinely, even if the other band, like, because, it's like two stages
Mhm.
per big stage, and that's how they keep it on time, um, which is like when we were Young Fest. So I was like, oh shit, so they're just doing, it's just the more affordable when we were Young Fest, in my opinion. Um, fuck, I lost my train of thought. No, so it's like even if the band that was playing on like the Ghost stage was still going and they're like, this is our last song, but it's 1:57 and like Holy Water has to go on next. Holy Water just started their fucking setup and you just had two bands playing at once for like 30 seconds and then the other one would end and then the one that was already going would continue. Like it would just be like
They were on a tight
fucking
ship.
hit after hit after hit.
They got that
Insane.
curfew.
So good to see. Very impressive. Such a good festival. That is my Warped Tour experience. Literally fucking no complaints at
Hell yeah.
all.
I didn't have FOMO going into the weekend, but now that every band that I follow 90% of the bands that played, obviously, and they're all posting
Yep.
footage, I'm like,
I know you saw that Memphis Mayfire clip and you're like,
oh,
fuck!
dude, I saw Matty Mullins in the glasses, and I'm like, oh, shit.
That
He's
shit
wearing
caught
the
me off
meta
guard.
glasses.
I was like, we're gonna see Matty Mullins POV.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm here for it. I'm here
the
for
dreams
it.
are made
But
of, dude.
yeah, I started seeing all the clips, and I'm like, Orlando's my birthday weekend. Like, what the fuck,
Why don't you just go?
But yeah, I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad it went well.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that you got to see all the bands because you
Mommy
you
Mullins.
sent me the list, and I think you hit all of them, and then even
I hit
more.
all of them except for Asking Alexandria.
Which
That's literally the only band I
the
didn't see.
subreddit, because I follow the Ask Alexandria subreddit. My
Yeah.
entire like homepage on Reddit is like a bunch of non-band shit because I need to get away from music sometimes.
Sometimes
And
you gotta have one escape.
all of just the entire every post on the Ask Alexandria subreddit is just about how bad the Warped Tour performance was, because like to see them how bad they were previously, you had to go and
Yeah.
pay to see them, but they live streamed the two main stages on
They did.
on Amazon Prime and Twitch this past weekend at Warped Tour. So thousands of people tuned in that have not watched a single live video, have not been able to see the band
Oh,
live
wow.
recently.
So they tarnished their entire.
Everyone is being like, oh my god, I cannot believe how bad Ask Alexandria was. And I think it honestly sounds like it was the worst set of the festival, and that does not surprise me in the slightest. But you dodged a bullet getting out of there early.
Yeah.
And
I also didn't see
not seeing
Avril
them.
Lavigne. That was the other one, but we were both kind of like, because I'm pretty sure I've bitched about it on here, but Avril Lavigne's live performance from like the tour videos that she herself is posting, she's not giving anything.
Yeah.
She's literally just like pacing around the stage, just like not like dancing, or if she is like bouncing and shit, it does not feel like she's like enjoying it. She's just kind of doing it to do it. So again, I was okay with missing that one as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can live with missing two and seeing the other fucking
all
50.
all 900 other bands there, but I'm glad the weekend went well. I also went to a show on Sunday. I saw Youth Fountain, Sad Park, Good Terms, Spring Ahead, Fall Apart, and Wave Break. The package touring is Youth Fountain, Sad Park, and Good Terms, and then the two locals were Spring Ahead, Fall Apart, and Wave Break. It was great to see Wave Break again. It's like my third or fourth time seeing them at this point. I've lost count. They always put on a good show. Kind of walked in as they were starting their set. I think I caught most of it. I don't know how much of it I missed as I was walking in, but they were already on when I got there. They sounded great. It seems like Kelly, has got a solid lineup behind her now, which is super dope to see. And some of the newer songs have been getting stuck in my head because they'll wind up on our TikTok and whatnot. And the choruses on there are pretty goddamn good. I can't lie.
Pretty goddamn catchy.
So it was great to see them. Spring Ahead, Fall Apart. They were solid. Fit the bill a little bit better in terms of like vibe, because Youth Fountain is a little bit more of like emo-ish, and this band was like they call themselves post-emo, so I guess they fit the bill a little bit better sonically and vibe wise and sonic and all that, but they were pretty cool. Good Terms, man, they absolutely rocked it. I was so excited to see them going in, because we had them on the podcast. They were a fantastic time to chat with. If you haven't seen the interview, definitely go check it out. And I also really enjoyed the record that came out at the very tail end of last year. So being able to finally see them and seeing all of the fucking live clips on TikTok and Instagram reels of them performing, I'm like, I have to go see the show. And they absolutely blew me away. They were so fucking good. They played a bunch of tracks off the new record as well as the newest single they put out ahead of the tour. They played the couple of heavy ass tracks that they had their viral moments with as well. So it was cool to see those moments in the flesh and not just on my silly little cell phone.
That's cool.
And dude, they absolutely rocked it. First time in Jersey, and they crushed it. It was so great to see them. Sad Park was great. We had them on the podcast a few years ago. I hadn't seen them. Throwback. Hadn't seen them, and they were great. I kind of forgot how much I fucked with that record that we chatted about a few years ago, because they played a handful of tracks off it, and I actually knew the words to those songs. I didn't have a ton of time this past weekend to prep myself for the show. I knew what bands were playing. I knew that I knew of the bands and had listened to their newest records because we interviewed all of them, and I was just kind of gonna go fucking wing it, and I knew the words to the songs off the new record that they were playing. The older stuff maybe not so much, but the new stuff absolutely, and they were solid. I thought that the crowd had kind of thinned out, but it seemed like a lot of people were upstairs, because Good Terms went up to their merch booth after their set. And people were slowly, like, I was like, did everybody fucking leave? But people were funneling down, and within a couple of songs, the most of the crowd that was there previously was there, which was good, because I was like, damn, like the fucking place, there's no one in here now. But the crowd reassembled, which was good, because I felt bad, and the people showed up, which is good. And then Youth Fountain with Good Terms as their backing band, by the way.
How fun is that?
Yeah, Good Terms is rocking double duty on this tour. Dude, Youth Fountain was great. It was my first time seeing Youth Fountain full band. I have seen them before with just Tyler doing acoustic. But it was dope to see them, Tyler do it full band style. Played a shitload of tracks off the new record, which was great because I'm familiar with that. We had Tyler on the podcast as well to chat about the last Youth Fountain record. And yeah, it was great. He played like 45 minutes, and he was in and out. The show was over by 10 o'clock. Can't complain about that. And he wore a Comfort shirt.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know what? Fuck yeah.
Yeah. That was
I'm with it.
he came out on stage and immediately snickered the second the first note came out of his mouth because he couldn't keep it together. He was wearing a cum fart shirt.
Yeah, need one.
Yeah, I need one too. I gotta know where Tyler's watching. Tell me where you got that. I need it.
Also, GNP merch. We'll make it. We'll make it. Hell yeah.
Got a couple of records to chat about, some deluxes and EP. You know how the vibes go, and then so many singles. Your head'll spin. Kicking it off, Slow Tide dropped their new album, The Blur. The Suspenser from Under Oath's side project. This record also came out on June 6th. We're covering all the stuff from June 13th. I missed it in the chaos of everything going on. It happens, but could not skip this. Had to go back a week and catch it a week after it came out. Week and a half at this point. I don't 2 weeks. I don't know timelines. Catch it after it came out. Because we have been so excited and covering the Slow Tide rollout, and constantly every time we chat about a single, we were like, where's the album? And then the audacity for us to not cover the record, I'm like, we have to do it.
It's so funny though. It's like, where's the album?
No, never mind.
Never mind.
Cool, I'm glad you dropped it. We're not going to talk about it though.
We're not going to talk about it. We're listening to it.
Yeah. So we're here, we're chatting about it. And dude, it's awesome. It is so good. I feel like, as much as I love Under Oath, I love Spencer and Under Oath. I really like what he did with this record, this like indie synth pop kind of style. And I think his vocals fit it so well. Like his clean vocals fit this style of music so well. And I've even noticed that when Under Oath will get a little weird, like I'm talking like Voyeurist, where there's like some of those really atmospheric weird songs in the middle of the record, and I feel like he absolutely soars over like the weird, not super heavy stuff. And this record is just like I said, indie synth pop bangers, front and back, and I just think he really fits this style. When he's singing, would he fit this if he was screaming? Probably not, but that's not what this is calling for. I really like the way it opens with Neck High. I think it's the strongest song on the record. Honestly, it grabs your attention right away, and that's the song that's been stuck in my head. Over the last day or so after listening to this record. But I also really like songs like Blood Hungry. It always seemed easier. I like the way it closes with Battlefield. That song fucking rips. Rather Be Blind, Kill Me. I could sit here and name most of the record because it's very like there's not a ton of up and down. Like it's very much kind of stays in one lane, but I feel like for this genre it calls for it, where it's like you're just putting this on and it's essentially to vibe for 30 or 35 minutes, however long the record is. 39 minutes. You just vibe. So like the kind of staying in one sonic plane makes sense for this record. There's not a ton of out of left field things besides the fact that the singer of Under Oath is doing pop music.
Indie shit.
That's the only thing out of left field, but sonically there's nothing that really like was super unexpected from me while listening through this record. Overall, this is incredibly solid, and I hope that more people pay attention to it.
Damn straight. I completely agree. So my issue typically with kind of like indie pop records is that there's a bunch of filler or just songs that I feel like just really drag on, where it's like you either didn't need this song or it's dragging on way too much. Like you didn't need that fucking fifth chorus, dog. The song would have been great without it. So what I really like about this record is it feels like every track is actually providing something, and it's actually adding to the experience of the record instead of just putting more fluff into it to reach a certain, minute. The songs are fucking beautiful. They are well written. They are little tiny pieces of art, because just all the little Easter eggs, or just the little ear candy is the word I was looking for. I fucking love it. And it's like I can obviously, like with Under Oath, there are some moments where I'm like, what the fuck is he saying to me right now? Because I don't know. But with this, I was able to actually hear the message he was saying, and it was just like there are really cute songs where it's just like he's recently engaged. So there were like 2 love songs on here, and I was like, Oh, that's so cute. Like that must be so special. It's so cute. There's a, a couple mental health songs. There's just it covers a lot of ground. It's very cohesive sound wise. It is actually building a experience and a atmosphere, and once it ended, I immediately like snapped out of it and I was like, "Oh, fuck, that's it?"
Mhm.
Even though it was 40 minutes, it didn't feel like it. It was incredible. I really thoroughly enjoyed this record. It surprised me because again, as I said, with indie records, I always kind of go in a bit hesitant, even though I probably shouldn't because like our whole thing is, listening to new music and giving it an unbiased review. But with indie, I still kind of have a little wall
Mental
up for
block.
it.
Yeah.
It's just because it's like, what are you gonna do differently? Because indie is sometimes such a boxed in genre where it's really hard to kind of make it your own in my opinion. Like the 5 Seconds of Summer, Five Sauce Five, that indie record, I could not pick it in like out of a fucking room. Like it respectfully. We'll get to something like that soon. But I really enjoyed this record because as you said, it's synthy, it has a lot more pop influence. And I think because Spencer does have that experience in a lot of experience in the very colorful, um, uh, just amalgamation of all the sounds that Under Oath has ever touched because they're a very fluid band. They've done a bunch of shit. I think because he kind of has all of those tools in his belt already, he's able to turn indie into something familiar but still refreshing.
Mhm.
Big fan of this record. I liked it a lot.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
and just to add on, if you listen to any of the singles throughout the midst of the project, because obviously Spencer was using his personal socials to promote
Mhm.
this as well, and you were a fan of Under Oath and you're like, what the fuck is this?
What's going
Listen
on?
to the full record, because I didn't quite fully grasp the project until listening to the full album, because like you said, it is really an experience that you kind of fall into
Yeah.
while listening through. And our single reviews typically were just like, wow, this is great, drop the album, Spencer. And it was like,
And we
yeah,
move on.
yeah,
Yeah.
obvious, like we thought the songs were cool but struggling to grasp how cool they were. And I think that the full album listening experience is really something to note with this record in particular, because I think we both had a similar feeling of like kind of being transported into something and then snapping out of it when the record ends and being like, damn, like that was an experience that we got,
Yeah.
versus the feeling that we were getting with the singles, which is just like, this is cool, Spencer's doing something different,
Mhm.
but like what else is coming?
Would like more of it because this isn't it's really hard for indie songs for us specifically to be kind of like one-offs
Mhm.
because it's supposed to build an atmosphere.
Yeah.
If you're just getting a taster, you're not able to actually be immersed in it. At least for me, but yeah,
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Hell yeah.
Anyways. Calum Hood dropped his new album, Order Chaos Order. He is the final member of 5 Seconds of Summer to drop his album.
Well,
His solo
actually,
record.
Michael Clifford, his
He's
comes out in July. It was announced, it's coming, but it
Okay,
comes
so
out in July.
Michael,
We're
but
getting there.
we know what it's gonna sound
We
like.
do.
So it's like
We do.
I feel like we didn't listen to any of the singles. Did he drop singles for this? I don't know. So this was a complete surprise because I was like, fuck, I didn't even know because I jokingly said like, "Where's the album, Callum?" Like
There were 2
5 months
singles
ago.
and they came out. I remember this. We didn't cover them, but right around the time that Michael put out his first single is when the first single for this came out. And I sent it to you like 2 days after,
The
and
boys
I
are
was
fighting.
like, found the final side project.
You did.
Yeah.
You did send that, and I remember going, "Oh my god, it's happening!"
Yeah.
And then I forgot about it.
Me too.
So
It's a slow week.
it's Jesus, dude. So we just spoke about Slow Tide, a pop indie, maybe tinge of alternative record because you really can't take that out of Spencer Under Oath's. That's his last name, Under Oath. Spencer Under Oath. His influences.
Spencer
With
Chamberlain of Under Oath.
So with Calum Hood, it's another thing because I was expecting because I had no expectations. I went into this completely blind because, as we said, we did not follow the singles. I maybe listened to like a 10-second clip of what you sent me when the first single was announced for this record, and I went, "Oh my God!" And then I forgot about it. So going into this, I was like, please sound like Calm. Please, someone make Calm again. No one's made Calm yet. So I guess the rock era of 5 Seconds of Summer Boys is fucking dead. Everyone's doing indie
all the
or
side
pop punk.
all the side projects have sounded exactly like the newest record have sounded, except we know Michael's is gonna sound like possibly old 5 Seconds of Summer,
which is not my favorite. So it's like I can't.
But anything's better than another indie project from another member of 5 Seconds of Summer.
It's just, you could all tell that they were on the same page for 5 Sauce 5, and they were all like, yeah, indie's the next thing. Let's all do indie for this final 5 Seconds of Summer record. And then they all said, let's keep doing indie after 5 Seconds of Summer. It all, respectfully, all of their records have sounded the exact same to me. So Michael really is going to be the standout. I'm excited to hear his record. But anyways, let's talk about this. So, as I mentioned, with indie, it is pretty difficult for me to get into, I guess, because I feel like it is a very blanketed genre. It's a very boxed in genre. It's kind of hard to make your own corner in it. It's hard to create and develop your own unique sound, at least for me. I have difficulty differentiating one indie record from another because to me, indie is just indie, you know? It's all one big album, one big family album, and I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's also not a genre that we listen to out of the podcast. If someone drops it, we listen to it. But other than that, you go back to fucking metal and The Weeknd, and then I go back to like metalcore and rap and pop. So it's like indie really doesn't overlap with any of the genres that we listen to outside of this. So this record, unfortunately, is really long. It's a hefty record. It feels like, I mean, fuck. All of the songs, none of them even come close to 2 minutes or close to like the minimum of 3. It's all like everything's at like 4 minutes for the entire record, every single song. And it does the thing that I don't like with, honestly, any album, not specifically indie, but I do see it more predominantly in indie albums where the songs just drag and it just feels like they just don't stop. It's just a long, like, droning song. I get that a lot with this record. Like, there were like at least like 4 songs that I was listening to where I was like, this just does not need to be here. This last 30 seconds, this whole song, I wasn't a big fan of this, and it fucking sucks because Calum was my favorite member of 5 Seconds of Summer when I was like 15. So, you know, leave me be. But for me, it was disappointing because I went in with no expectations, but my expectations is please be calm. No. You know, taking it away from that, saying it's its own thing, still, for being an indie record, it didn't scratch that itch, and it didn't do what I need an indie record to do. To me, it didn't stand out, unfortunately. It didn't do anything new or notable for me specifically, but again, it's not my genre. So I'm sure for the indie heads, if that's what they're fucking called, I don't know, they might eat this shit up. And they might be like, this is fucking crazy. This is monumental. But because I'm not in the genre and I only listen to it maybe once or twice a week, I could not tell you like what the fuck happened on this record. You know, it just it killed me. Not like killed me, but it was just, it wasn't a experience. It was just, I did it because I had to do it, which sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
I think you saying that you don't know what the fuck happened on this record is kind of the perfect summation of it. Because I went in with zero expectations entirely, because I was just like, I had like seen a genre or two that was thrown around on it, like, you know, with the different places that I pull new releases from and things like that, but I didn't put any stock into that because they label it one thing, and then I, you know, could give a flying fuck less, because to me everything is heavy, everything's metalcore.
Everything's metalcore until it isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this record.
So I was like, it could be metal. It could be, it's labeled chill wave, but it could be metalcore for all I know, you know?
It could be, it could have like a chill wave song, but like it's metalcore.
Yeah.
You know?
So I had zero expectation. I'm also not the biggest 5 Seconds Summer fan. I think that they're cool. I like what they do. I liked Calm,
Calm
but
is so good.
and I've seen them live a handful of times, but they're not a band that I go out of my way to listen to. We've covered the previous solo projects from Luke and Ashton, and kind of had similar feelings with those, and of kind of feeling like there were some cool moments, but largely in part not something I would come back to. And that's kind of how I feel about this record too. But I think you saying like I don't know what the fuck happened perfectly summarizes my feelings as well, because for the most part, if you put a gun to my head right now and told me that I had to tell you what each song sounded like on this record, you would have to pull the trigger, because I wouldn't know. I did think there were some cool moments kind of scattered throughout the record, but largely in part, it was a lot of droning on, a lot of songs that went on way too fucking long. And that sucks because, these four members together create fucking phenomenal music,
except that last record.
But then you put them separately, and each record, we don't know what Michael's is going to sound like yet, but those singles have been questionable so far. It's totally different sound than everything else though, so high hopes.
Some points, right?
But the other two solo projects have had similar feelings of feeling too long and kind of staying in the same plane in a bad way, because it's one thing to like we just talked about with the Slow Tide record, kind of stays in the same plane, and this record stays in the same sonic plane as well. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. It is when the songwriting and the songs are just long, and that equates to boring, because the song is staying and the entire record is staying in the same sonic plane. It then creates a boring listening experience. I hate to say that.
One long flat line.
But if there's exactly. If there is zero dynamics within the music, you're losing me. I don't mind it being in the same plane. Like we just said, the fucking Slow Tide record really does one genre for the entire 40 minutes it runs. But there's so much more going on within the record, and it's just the way that indie should be. This is just songs that go on too fucking long, and if the songs were chopped down a minute and a half each, sure, this record would fucking rip.
It would be great.
This record would rip, but I have a hard time retaining a lot of things because I feel like a lot of these songs could have been trimmed down, and then I would have been able to retain. But I lose everything that I could have possibly retained when the song goes on a minute and a half longer than it should have. With that being said, the moments on the record that I thought were solid and I actually do have some memory of are the opener, which is Don't Forget You Love Me. I think that sets the tone for the record very well. I also like Sweet Dreams and Sunsetter probably being my favorite because that's the most that I can remember from the record. And then the second half,
if they asked you what Sunsetter meant with a gun,
you'd still have to pull the trigger. And then the entire second half of the record is just a wash. Forget about it. But yeah, I don't know. I had zero expectations, a little disappointed. But this. It is what it is. Solo projects can be hit or miss. Unfortunately, this one is a miss.
It's just a big sigh because again, I was looking forward to Calum's record. I feel like I just don't know why they're all going indie. Like what?
Go to your roots, boys.
Go back to pop punk. Follow Michael, but like maybe do it like a little better. Right now, allegedly,
or just make a fucking pop record, like,
or just pop I would be so okay. But I think that's why they're not doing it, because that is 5 Seconds of Summer,
and that's also the safe. We literally just criticized Joe Jonas for going the safe option. With his solo project,
they can do pop, but in a different light. You could still pull off a genre that your X project or project that you're just taking a break from has done before. But if you're just doing the exact same thing, I feel like that's just, you're just doing, that's lame. But if you're actually fucking it up and adding something new to the genre and making it a little experimental, I think that's where it can be good. But if you're just doing it just solely for comfort, fuck off. I would rather take the indie boring record, respectfully, Calum. Sorry.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it does just sound like the last record for the most part, and all of the solo projects have kind of felt that way. So, it's disappointing, but fingers crossed on the last member.
Don't let us down, Michael, because you're scaring me. You're scaring me a lot, actually, a lot.
The home team dropped the deluxe edition of their album, The Crucible of Life. Glory's been spinning this one all day. I'll just let her take this.
Oh, you saw? Oh, you saw that? My bad. No, I think this is incredible. So, Crucible of Life was one of my album of the years, 2024. Yeah, and it has not lost its spark for me. I still listen to it whenever I remember it, which is at least once or twice a week. I always spin it all the way through, start to finish. That is like one of the records where I don't shuffle it. So, very special record. I think it is immaculate. So, seeing the announcement that they did with Worthy, that there was going to be a deluxe edition with actual new tracks, I put that shit on my calendar. I was so excited. I saved it to my library. I don't do that because it's like I'll get it when I get it, you know? Even though I know it helps the algorithm and I should be doing that, but it's like
I don't use the Spotify library either. It's all up here. The listening is all up here. It's whatever I'm hyper fixated on for the week.
That's it. So it was Friday. I woke up and I opened my Spotify and I saw it dropped. And I usually listen to everything for the podcast day of. So Monday, typically. Today, Wednesday. With this fucking record, I listened to this shit start to finish Friday morning. I was so excited. This shit did not disappoint. So, 4 new tracks, all squeezed out extended edition, featuring Arrows in Action and Saxel Rose, fucks, Rat Queen, what is it? Where's My Friend Gone? Yeah, and Worthy. All incredible tracks. My personal favorite is still Worthy, but the all squeezed out extended version is fucking incredible. That song was one of my favorites off of, 4th or 5th listen. It was top 3 for me because it came in and then it left. But I wanted more. And that's what we said in the initial review for the record, where it's like, my only gripe, my literally one gripe with this record is I wanted more of All Squeezed Out. It comes and it goes. It feels a little out of place because it's just kind of like 90 seconds or something crazy. It's like, we need more of that. They added fucking Arrows in Action to it, and they added a new verse to it, and then, oh my god, it just made it so much fucking better. This song is the perfect length. This song is incredible. I love it so much, and it still has the outro. It makes me so happy. Rat Queen, it's okay. I think it's my least favorite off of the deluxe tracks. It's still good though because it's still the home team. It's just kind of like I need time with it, is all it is. Where's My Friend Gone? I think it's great. I mean, it's a sad fucking song, but we kind of needed more of those with this record because there's only like one sad sounding song, and that is Walk This World With Me. Obviously, half the record's like fucking sad as shit, but it's like the sound of it, immaculate. Worthy is the fucking lead single for the deluxe. Groovy as shit. Funky as fuck, incredible song. I love Worthy so much. That could have been the opener for Crucible of Life. It kind of scratches that itch of Turn You Off. Very happy with this. I think it's a great deluxe. I think it added a lot to the record. They fed us. Thank you, the home team.
Yeah, they definitely did feed us, and it definitely does add a lot to the record. They also did the deluxe edition the correct way.
They did.
And they didn't drip a bunch of singles out and then just like, boom, you got the deluxe with one new. You got one song ahead of time, 2 brand new songs, and then like a half of a song. That's how they were promoting it. 3.5 new songs.
Yeah, 3.5. Oh, awesome.
All Squeezed Out extended is great. Arrows in Action and the home team together are a phenomenal duo. The Arrows in Action was the home team is on Arrows in Action's debut record, so it's great to see Arrows in Action now on the home team's newest album. So it's super cool to see that crossover again. That's a match made in heaven always. Rat Queen and Where Is My Friend Gone are both really solid songs, but I can see why those tracks weren't on the original version of the Crucible of Life. There is absolutely nothing wrong with these songs, and they overall fit the home team vibe, but I do not think that they fit the vibe of what the main album was going for, hence why they are called on to be B-sides. But they're still very strong songs, and very, like, you know, and absolutely deserve to be out. Just because they're B-sides does not immediately mean they are bad. They are still great songs in their own right, but I see why they're B-sides. Worthy, on the other hand, I don't know how that song did not make the cut. That is the definition of the Crucible of Life, that song. I can see why that was the single for the deluxe edition, and that absolutely fits the vibe of the record and is my favorite song of the three. If I had to rank them, it would be Worthy, Rat Queen, and Where Has My Friend Gone coming in at last. But that is such a solid song. But the entire deluxe is really great. Like Glory said, our gripe, one of our only gripes with the record, possibly our only one, was that All Squeezed Out was not long enough. And now we got an extended version of it. So they were listening. They did it. So thanks for that. I will have to now listen to the record in full with the extended version of All Squeezed Out and see how much it adds. But yeah, overall, I think this is really solid. Like I said, this is how you do a deluxe edition, and I'm impressed.
Funeral Portrait, the Funeral Portrait, dropped their deluxe album, Greetings from Suffocate City, From Beyond the Abyss, deluxe edition. This deluxe version came with the just singles that have new features on them, which is kind of the trend with the Funeral Portrait. They like to do that funky little remix thing. It came with a couple like live tracks, a demo,
and some new songs. But a fun thing to note is the record had two new features with other artists, and those songs were swapped on the album, and then the original versions were put at the tail end of the record, and then the songs on the album that were initially singles without features that wound up being released formally with features were then, those featured songs were put at the end of the record with the deluxe edition stuff, and the original songs were put into the mainline track list. So now, instead of the features on those songs, you get to hear the record without the features, but the songs that were released initially without features, which are Holy Water and Hearse for Two, on the deluxe edition, those songs have the featured version in the mainline track list. Very confusing, but I wanted to note that because we are talking about those songs that have the features that came out as part of the deluxe, even though they're in the mainline album now, on the deluxe edition, as well as the three new songs, the weird like remix kind of thing that they did, the live track and the demo, which this covers the gambit of every possible thing that you could do for a deluxe edition, except a full-blown remix, because Beyond the Abyss is more of like an acoustic remix-ish kind of thing. It's a weird amalgamation of the two. So they covered the gambit, and I respect it because they didn't lean in super heavily on one or the other. They kind of they spread themselves pretty even across the board, giving us mainly new tracks. That's the most that we got. There were three new songs on here, and then only one of like the stuff that we personally really rag on bands for, which is like the acoustic stuff, the live and the demo. Only one of each, which is cool. I really like Holy Water with Ivan from Five Finger Death Punch. I think he fits the vibe of that song very well. Yeah. And I like some Five Finger Death Punch songs. I like their older records, and the newer stuff has been hit or miss, but I do really think that Ivan as a vocalist is really strong, and he fits the vibe of this very well. Hearse for Two with Lil Czar, again, I think she really fits the song. I think that the song really called for a feature, and having her on there makes a ton of sense. Evergreen, Skinny Lies, and Lost Boy are the three new songs that we get. I really like these. And I'm honestly shocked that they're B-sides, because I think that they are stronger than some of the songs that actually made the record. Mainly Evergreen and Skinny Lies. Like
Skinny Lies, let's talk about it.
Are like, it's genuinely kind of the way I've wanted the band to sound. These songs are accomplishing. And and I'm blown the fuck away. Honestly, I really like these songs, and and it bums me out that they're B-sides because I don't see the band wanting to pursue this direction if they didn't make them songs on the main record. But I really like this direction for the band that's in these few songs. They obviously still kind of fit the vibe of Greetings from Suffocate City. They're not totally out of left field, but just the way that Lee is delivering his vocals in particular is kind of the way that I'd like to see more of. And I really like those songs. The Stay Weird Beyond the Abyss acoustic-ish, remix-ish kind of thing, I thought it was cool. I didn't really think it changed the song all that much because the song was already on the slower side. So it was just kind of a wash for me. I don't hate it though. The Suffocate City live track, you're able to hear the crowd, which is dope. It adds a little bit extra to it. Suffocate City live is always one of my favorite songs when I get to see them perform live. When I see them, that's one of my favorite songs to see them play. So getting a live version of that is super cool. They didn't overdo it with the amount of live songs that we get. So I'm very happy that they picked that song and left it at that. And then the Alien demo was cool to hear as well. Very, very well produced demo.
Yeah.
So they could have told me that it was the Alien and they just slapped it on there. Like, I know that song is obviously on the record, but they could have told me that that's the song, and I would have been like, yeah, I don't know the difference. There's obviously a difference. It sounds good to me, but it's very produced, and I like that. It didn't have like that very much demo feel. You could tell it was in its infancy stages, but nothing super crazy, not bad production or anything like that. Another deluxe edition where if you want to cover the gambit, this is the way to do it. They did it all. They did it correctly. I respect it. The only thing is, I did have to sit in front of my computer to figure out which songs were new and were going to be on the playlist and which songs weren't because of the way it was all track listed out.
Yeah, it was all shuffled together. Yeah.
This wasn't added to the playlist until I was finally home on Sunday night because I had to get in front of my computer and look at the fucking streams to know which songs had to go on the playlist. Because I opened it on my phone when I was putting the playlist together, and I'm like, oh my fucking god! I just made a note. I'm like, I'll come back to this one. Fuck that.
Yeah. Revisit that shit. Yeah. Come back again. No, I thought this deluxe version was incredible. So the Funeral Portrait, I think, is one of those bands where it's like I really enjoy seeing them live. I think they make incredible music. It's just like whenever they release, that's when I kind of, get into them and listen to them. But apart from that, it's just kind of like I see them float around in the ether and I'm like, hell yeah, that's dope. They're fucking crushing it. They're playing Warped Tour. I think in Florida. I think they're playing the Florida date, maybe LA. I don't know. So congratulations. That's fucking huge for them. I really enjoyed the 3 new tracks. My personal favorite, you kind of covered everything, content-wise and thoughts-wise on this, so kind of ditto to everything you said. But Skinny Lies is my personal favorite off of the 3. I think the breakdown that it has, the riffs are chunky and heavy, and I love it. It is such a, sassy, heavy ass track, and I love it so much. I wish that is just the type of music that they made. They do kind of teeter closer to the hard rock line, in my opinion, just on their albums and just their typical music and genre that they stick to. But this one, they went a little metalcore, and they added some heavy riffs in there, and that shit was beautiful. The featured tracks, I feel like I've heard them 1,000 times over. They've been out for a minute. But I really like the Lilith Czar feature on Hearse for 2. I think she really elevates the track. The track was already beautiful as is, but I think having the female vocalist on there just wraps it up with a bow. I think it's beautiful. Evergreen is great, and Lost Boy is also incredible. Stay Weird Beyond the Abyss I think is great as well. It was my least favorite track off of the record when it was released. So to me, it's just like, okay, it's fine. But I do know it is kind of one of the bigger tracks that resonated with a lot of their fan base. So of course they're gonna, release more of Stay Weird. Suffocate City Live, it's a live track.
Yeah.
Cool. Hell yeah. And then the Alien demo is a demo, as you said, very well produced. Wouldn't be able to tell you, if I hadn't heard the published an official version of Alien, I wouldn't have been able to tell that it was a demo. So that says a lot about their process and production and stages. So I think that's really cool to kind of get a sneak peek of, damn, their demos sound like that.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's just awesome. So yeah, overall, I think this is a solid example of a great deluxe record because as you said, it covers everything. I mean, they quite literally did every possible thing you could do except for like a dubstep remix, which I don't think we needed.
Thankful we don't have
Honestly, you know what? Get Austin Knight on the phone. Let him do a fucking dubstep remix of Stay Weird. Hell yeah.
Archers dropped their new EP, Temporary High. Dude, it has been so sick to see the growth of Archers since the last time we spoke with them. And, you know, we're going to have an interview coming out with Grayson about the EP, and we get to catch up about all the things that have happened as well as the EP, and that'll be out in due time. But, you know, I've known of the band for a long time. We started covering them around the time of that last EP when we had them on the podcast. And this is hands down the strongest that the band has been, without a doubt. You know, the last EP only came out last year, but there has been so much growth since then, both just in the band's career and then I feel in their songwriting as well. And we dive into the growth that the band had within everything in this elusive interview that will be out in due time, as I said. But this EP is just so solid, and it honestly bums me out that it's only 5 songs, because they really laser, like, you know, EPs will either be very much of one thing or be across the gambit showcasing everything, and they laser in so heavily on one thing and what they do so well, which is just straight up fucking beating the shit out of you.
It's insane, yeah.
And then they have the one slow song in the middle with Safe Now, but they've always done the slower stuff, and they've really excelled at that. But they really just beat the door down with this EP, and I love it.
Scary.
Because that's one thing with Archers that I was always kind of like, they're a metalcore band, but I feel like they almost toe the line sometimes of like not wanting to go all the way with that straight up breakdown, and still kind of staying on that like softer side, and that's why they excel so much at the softer stuff, and why Safe Now is such a fantastic song, as well as all the other songs across their discography that are on the softer side. But I've wanted songs like A Better Off, or, you know, Never Enough, or Crooked Smile, or Wide Awake, that just blow the door down. And that's what you get with this EP, and that's why I love this EP so much. Every single song on here is a standout. I just named all 5. I like all 5. I genuinely enjoy this full EP, and I'm so excited, you know, to see where the band goes from now. They're going to be headlining off the back of the CP in July, which is so dope. I will absolutely be there. I'm so excited to see them, you know, headlining the stage this time around. Then they're going to be supporting fucking nothing more at the top of next year. They're currently over in the UK. They just played Download Fest, and then I think at the time of recording tonight, they're playing a sold out show in London. I saw Grayson posting about. So it's just so dope to see the growth that the band has been having, and the music is growing alongside the growth of the band. And I'm just very excited for them and very proud of them. And everyone needs to listen to this EP, and that's where I'm going to leave it.
I completely agree and echo everything you just said. I think this EP is immaculate. I think Better Off is honestly like one of their best songs that they've ever released. It is fucking crazy. And I hear exactly what you're saying when you say that they kind of toe the line sometimes of like metalcore, and then just kind of like, I don't know what genre that would be. Just hard rock, not hard rock because that's more dad rock, but you know what I'm talking about, where it's like it's not too heavy, but it's kind of still in that genre, there's like that atmosphere.
Half a breakdown, but we're not getting all the way there. Like they're not kicking the door like, down, they're knocking on it.
They're knocking on it, but like a heavy knock, you know, like a daunting knock. So I think that is definitely a good example of that would be Crooked Smile, because it's definitely, it kind of bounces around in that heavier side, but it never goes the full way. It's like, I don't think it has much of like a heavy breakdown, at least in comparison to Better Off. So I love the dynamic of the opener and the closer, where it's like there's still remnants of what we started with, but it's kind of like letting you off now. It's saying like, okay, that's it, that's the EP, we're done. Safe Now, yes, it is right in the middle of the album, and it is the slowest track. I think it's still incredible. Never Enough was my favorite single. That shit fucked.
Chorus on that is
Great song.
crazy.
And Wide Awake is incredible. The EP, it comes, it goes. It does not overstay its welcome, but honestly, I would have been okay with like 2 more tracks. I think this is a solid record. If you like fun metalcore, if you like good music, if you like heavy shit, this is for you. This
Absolutely.
is such a good EP. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Chapel, welcome back. Dropped their new single, Big Baby. I'm a big fucking baby. Hell yeah. That's all we gotta say. That's all we
Gloria and I
gotta
were
say.
singing that at each other yesterday. Song absolutely fucks.
It's so good. Yeah.
Comes off their upcoming record dropping in July. If you know Gloria and I, you know how much of a fan we are of Chapel, and the fact that they are back and we are getting a new record has been something that I've been talking about basically daily to anyone that will listen to me
I've
talk
been one
about
of those
it.
People. Yeah, and I'm very excited too. I'm like, can you believe it?
I'm very excited to get my grubby little hands on this record. One of my most anticipated of the year for sure. And this single's got me very excited. There was a single that came out a few weeks ago as well, and we're back in full Chapel swing.
I'm just so happy. You know, like I'm just gonna keep saying welcome back until they just leave. Guys, don't leave again.
And then we'll just keep saying welcome back when they come back again. But hopefully they never leave. I'm so excited that if the album release show wasn't in Nashville, I would find a way to go there. But Nashville's a bit too far for me to try to find a way to get there.
Flights, you know?
Dude.
Gotta commit. I
can't commit. I can't commit.
Okay.
I can't commit.
I can't commit either. There will not be a GNP meetup at the Chapel show.
No, as much as I would love to see Chapel, it has been so long. It was pre-pandemic the last time I saw them.
I've never seen them.
Yeah.
I don't know what, I didn't know.
I saw them play songs that will probably never see the light of day.
How special.
Because of, the we asked it in the last interview. We were going through the question list. What happened to the record?
What happened? So go watch our last interview with Carter from Chapel if you'd like to know what happened to those songs.
Apparently we asked it. We fucking forgot.
Crazy, yeah.
Attack Attack dropped their new single, One Hit Wonder. This comes off of their upcoming self-titled #2 album, Attack Attack 2, coming out in August. And this song rips, honestly. I've been really digging the tracks off of this upcoming record. The modern Attack Attack sound has been something that, you got to get used to, because they did one thing and then there was 15 years between that and an entire cultural shift. The crabcore is not cool anymore, as much as I wish it was.
I think they could do it again if they really wanted to make it cool again. They just gotta start.
They would. But what I've noticed is like the EPs were very safe, especially the second EP, and I loved that EP because it was like just straight up very much your typical metalcore. But I do think that the singles that we've gotten off this record are experimental in their own right. That it's and that's what Attack Attack at its core has always been, experimental in their own right. Crabcore was one thing, as much as you can laugh about it, make fun of it, very experimental, very different for the time. And I think that what they're doing with this record is a spin on the modern stuff, whereas at the time they were doing a spin on what 2010s metalcore was. Now they're doing a spin and adding their flair to what modern metalcore is, and it's creating a very interesting experience, and I'm here for it, and I'm excited for August when this record is in my hands.
Damn straight. I agree. I liked this track a lot. I mean, I'm just excited for new Attack Attack. I think it's so silly. I think they're just a very silly band. I can't take them seriously, but like not in like a god they're shit way, but just in a fuck, what are they doing now? I think it's a great track. I love it. Pink Shift dropped their new single, I Need a Ride. I think this fucks. I love Pink Shift so much. I'm very excited. I believe they announced an album.
They did. Then they just announced a tour off the back of that record. Record comes out in August. Tour starts in October, runs through November.
So dope.
And we've gotten 2 singles now. This is the second one. The singles have been dope as shit so far. I'm really digging the sonic shift that the band is taking with this album, and I'm very excited to hear the record in full. I've liked what the band has done previously, but this new record is trending a little bit more in the lane of music that I typically listen to. So I'm very excited. Windwalkers dropped their new single, Eating My Heart Out. we're starting to get a couple more singles from Windwalkers. I'm
What's
feeling
happening
like
here?
something might be brewing, and I'm here for it. The singles thus far have been great. This single's no exception. This one fucking rips. Big fan of Windwalkers.
Windwalkers is really reminding me of Thousand Below's last era, which is so exciting. I am such a big fan of Thousand Below. They are one of my favorite bands. That record that they dropped, fucking Hell Finds You Everywhere, I think was the title of it.
A few years ago.
Like 5 years ago. It was insane. This is really reminding me of my favorite tracks off of that record. So this is exciting. I love it. This genre is my favorite. The vocals are insane. I got to see them live with The Plot and You. They did not disappoint. It was a surprise because I kind of just went, The Plot and You's performing, I'm just gonna go. And then I was learning the lineup as I was there, except for Zero. I knew Zero was gonna be there, but it was just like,
and I'm sure you knew Currents. And I'm sure you knew Currents was going to be there because I was jealous you were seeing Currents.
So
you were just learning who the second of 4 band was.
I was like, oh my god, wait, I know this. Wait a minute, I've listened to this before. Great track, great direction they're going in. Very excited. Scary Kids, Scaring Kids, and Albert Schweitzer dropped a new single, Suspended in Air. This is incredible. Again, Scary Kids, Scaring Kids is, I said it when they last dropped a song, but it's always something unique when they drop, and it's always something that makes me go, fuck, is this what they sound like? It's like every single time. To me, I don't know, maybe I have like memory loss or some shit, but it's just like they always surprise me every time.
It changes every time. It's so refreshing. It changes every time.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Because they don't have like a, they came back, they didn't want to replace the vocalist role, which is totally understandable with the very tragic passing of the vocalist of the band. So, you get a different vocalist on every song. So you get an entire different voice on every single song and an entirely different take. And not to mention that the sonics of the songs do wind up being somewhat wildly different. It all kind of makes sense under the Scary Kids, Scaring Kids umbrella because the band is creating this atmosphere of being able to do whatever the fuck they want. But, this in particular is Albert is their live vocalist, so this is like the closest you're going to get to the current voice of Scaring Kids. Yeah. And I think this song's great. I honestly think that this is one of the best songs that we've gotten from them post hiatus. In general, I actually really, really dig this song.
Hell yeah.
All Time Low, they're back. They dropped a new single, Sucker Punch.
I heard this live.
I love that for you.
It was great.
And I'm gonna be honest, dude. This song fucking rips. We skipped over the last album cycle entirely, and I have no idea what that record sounds like. I still haven't listened to it. But I was seeing the promos for this, and I was like, "This is probably gonna be dope as shit."
And they usually like they're having fun.
And we're back. We're back. We got to cover All Time Low again, and this song fucking rips. It's a little bit different from like the previous stuff that All Time Low has done, but I've been very hypercritical of newer All Time Low stuff. The last couple of records that we did chat. Well, we chatted about Wake Up Sunshine, and then I had heard a couple of records. Shine, bro. Yeah, and then I had heard a couple of the newer the newer era records, just as a fan, Last Young Renegade, records like that, Future Hearts, that I wasn't a huge fan of. Basically the stuff post Don't Panic, because to me Don't Panic is like quintessential All Time Low. So I didn't know what to expect. That's why I didn't listen to the newest record, the most recent one now, because we're in a new cycle, because I hated Wake Up Sunshine so much and had not been a huge fan of what All Time Low had been doing really outside of some singles for a long time. But I really fucking dig this. I dig the vibe. I did not know that they were going this way sonically, but I fucking dig it. The band is so back too. The fucking rooms that they are playing on this upcoming tour with support from Mayday Parade, 4 Years Strong, the Paradox, and the Cab. What a lineup, by the way. Those rooms are fucking huge. It is so awesome to see. This song is massive. This song is so good, and I'm very excited for the new era of All Time Low.
Beautiful. Song fucks. No, I loved it. I loved it a lot. I love how passionate you are about it, because I was just like, dude, this song's great.
I mean, I listened to the song for the first time over the weekend, and it just blew me the fuck away. I'll be honest with you. because
They're
it's
so
so it's even so different just from what we've heard All Time Low do in the past. Even the more modern All Time Low stuff, All Time Low lived in that pop punk umbrella for a very long time, which is fine. I love that stuff. And then they kind of went off and tried some pop stuff, some pop rock, things like that. And this is like very different, very refreshing take on All Time Low, and I'm here for it. This deep into their career, to see them taking a refreshing new take on their music is dope, and I hope that it continues, and I hope it stays as strong as the song is. I'm very passionate. I like All Time Low.
Beautiful. Hell yeah. Gore dropped the new single Sepsis. I love this fucked.
This shit rocks. I'm very stoked for whatever is going to come from Gore. This song absolutely rips, and I'm stoked for more. That EP was a ripper as well.
EP fucked.
Absolutely. Between the Buried and Me dropped their new single, Things We Tell Ourselves in the Dark. Been a minute.
Fucking shit. This song is so good.
It's long as shit. This song
stopped me, I know, and I was okay with it. This is like the proggiest prog song I've ever heard. It fucks so crazy. This is insane. This shit is beautiful. This shit is like poetry with instrumentals, you know? It's like, God, it's like even the instruments are singing. It's just
beautiful.
Genuinely, it's like just such a wonderful. Like, I don't throw the word perfect around. I feel like I'm a little too heavy-handed with that right now. But it's like, it's close. It's damn near. Like, that shit genuinely stopped me in my tracks. I had to sit down for this track and just kind of like listen to it.
This song absolutely blew me away. It's super dynamic. Like I said, it's very long in the midst of you talking. It's very long, but it's super dynamic. And that's what I want when a song is 7.5 minutes long, is to basically have two songs in one. That's what you get with this song, because there's this massive shift and the song completely changes and it keeps your attention, and it's super dope. And we have not heard from this band in so long, and I'm very excited for this upcoming record.
Dipshit. Hell yeah. Bless the Fall dropped a new single, Mall X Core. I thought this fucked. I do enjoy some Bless the Fall every now and then. So this was a nice, cute little surprise on the playlist today.
Yeah. This song fucking rips. They finally announced their new record. They came back, dropped a single a year for 2 years, and now we finally are getting the record. Those songs will be on the album as well. Record comes out in September. I'm very excited. I have liked what they have done so far. This song is no exception. I think this new record is going to be solid. September 5th, I believe. So it's going to be great. Gideon dropped their new single, Till the Wheels Fall Off. This song is fucking dope. I liked the newest Gideon record, although there were some parts of it that were like a little too southern metal for me, like a little too country influence, a little
alternative.
Yeah, a little too alternative for me, a little too y'all metal, if you will, little too country. But the record, largely in part, was solid. There were plenty of straight up in your face riffs that I'm here for. And this song is still very much that. It's still very much got the Gideon flair, but there's something about it that's a slight difference, and I'm fucking with it. I like this song, and they just signed to Sumerian, so I'm assuming we're going to be getting more from this band.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, because typically that's how that goes.
Typically.
I thought the track fucked. I do agree with you. There's some Gideon songs where it's a little too alternative for me, but I know that hits the spot with like so many other people. But I really did enjoy this track a lot. I thought this was incredible. Girlfriends dropped their new single, Landslide. This is our final track for tonight, this afternoon. It's 12 p.m. I thought that this song was incredible. I do like Girlfriends a lot. So, again, another just pleasant surprise seeing on the playlist. Like, oh shit, Girlfriends dropped. Nice to see you guys again. That's so sweet.
Yeah, I'm glad to see them back, and this track does absolutely rip. The Girlfriends is pretty consistent with their releases, and this is no exception. I'm really liking this song, and I'm excited to see what comes of it. Could it be a Girlfriend's Fall? Who knows?
We'll see.
But those are all the topics we have today. You can follow us on Instagram is Good Noise Podcast, Facebook is Good Noise Pod, TikTok is Good Noise Podcast, YouTube is Good Noise Podcast. All the audio streaming services are all Good Noise Podcast, and Patreon is patreon.com/Good Noise Podcast. We always got your Patreon supporters, your Twitch subs, your important plugs, your merch store plug, and your Amazon storefront plug, and then we are going to sign off.
Check out our merch. It is goodnoisepodcast.creator-spring.com. Check out our Amazon storefront. Link in the description. It has merch. Proceeds go to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Patreon supporters, thank you to Matt from Pulses, Pop Punk Apologist, David Arrington, Tyson from Yield the Hurt, and Eric. And thank you to our Twitch sub, Matt, again from Pulses. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Much appreciated.
Thank you. Important plugs. Black Lives Matter. Stop Asian Hate. Free Palestine. The world. Stay positive.
Do your best.
Just do your best. It's tough out there. It's gonna get tougher. Do your best. Do what you can. Try not to worry about things you cannot control. That's what I've been learning recently, where it's like, fuck, what can I do about it? Nothing. So then why the fuck am I stressing about it? And it helps a lot. If I'm being so real, like I've trimmed down my stress by just going, fuck, what can I do about it?
Is what it is.
It is what it.
Yeah.
Fuck it, we ball. Hell yeah. So yeah, support artists and be a decent person. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's all the topics we have today. I have been Shane.
I have been Glory.
And we have been the Good Noise Podcast. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.